Good morning. We've got lots to cover. The question, let's bring up that slide. So the question I'm often asked is, how do you create business advantage using IT? How do you help your people be the best they possibly can? Many blockers that you face. I've got 3 that I'm going to share with you today. For many people, their email inbox is a disaster focus. Every day you're wading through years of unstructured emails, trying to find the latest project file you should be editing, previous conversations you need to reference, or company announcements you need to catch up on. I also see in many cases people continue to collaborate on files with their colleagues by simply attaching files to emails, which is an approach that simply belongs in the dark ages. And finally, many of our people continue to work in isolation with limited cross-departmental communications, which has an impact on them making better business decisions quicker due to a lack of shared knowledge and information across the organization. So today, we're going to use behavioral analytics available, let's bring that up, available in Productivity Score to pinpoint where we can use our new Teams features such as the Bulletin app and bots to help us create business advantage using IT. We'll also cover some fundamental Teams design decisions. When should we use chat versus channel, for example? And we'll also spend some time discussing why you need to junk email attachments in favor of links when sending files out for review and comment. So specifically in Productivity Score, we're going to cover communications, content collaboration, teamwork. There's so much in Productivity Score we could talk about, but we got 30 minutes and we need to be focused, and this is a good place to start. So let's drill down into communications. This is where I go to see if we have the right mix of Outlook and Teams usage. I always start by looking at this set of statistics. Now, what I'm looking for is to see whether your organization, or our organization in this case, is Outlook dominant, which feeds that first point I was making, which is a real blocker for an organization. In this case, we can see, that we got a nice balance between, yes, everybody's using email, there always will be, but also we got a strong usage of Teams for messaging. What I'm looking for is whether we might still have a strong email use, because everybody will do all the time. Outlook is so important, but fundamentally, is Teams a bit of a weak thing here? And if that's the case, we might be experiencing Outlook being dominant, and we need to redress that balance. So what I want to do is look at Microsoft's new Bulletin app for Teams, which is a great one-stop shop for all your company news and announcements, which could help us address the balance of Outlook and Teams usage for communication. So let's bring up that little video nugget that Microsoft have released a new Teams app. There is a one-stop shop for all your news and announcements that you can easily manage. Let's start by doing an overview of what this application can do. So I've deployed this Bulletins app in my HR general channel. In this example, you can see I have our bulletins organized by different areas. So we can see customer updates, employee resources, and product updates. If I click on one of these bulletins, you can see who posted it, when it was posted, the headline image, subject, and content. When you click on a particular bulletin, you'll see a little bookmark. One thing this has over email is you can keep track of the news and announcements that are of particular interest to you by clicking on this little bookmark icon. If I go back at the top, I have an icon with 3 lines in it. And if I click that, I can filter and customize my view of these bulletins. So I can see all or filter by bookmark only. I can customize my view further by clicking the sort button to move the categories around. I can also hide some of these different sections. So if I'm not working directly with customers, I might not be interested in customer related announcements. So I can just toggle that category off. And of course we have built-in search. So I can at any point search through all the bulletins to find relevant information. Beyond news, we have FAQs and we have links and contact section as well. Now this is just the end user's side of things. To manage what gets published, you can go to the Manage Bulletin application. So what I'm seeing here is all the content that's organized by draft and those that have been published. Another big benefit of this app is we can track how many times a particular bulletin has been viewed or bookmarked, which again is something I cannot do in Outlook. To manage what categories show up, we can click on the gear cog in the top on the upper right hand corner, and this will take us to a screen where we can configure the bulletin categories, the FAQ categories and the link categories. I can just click and add a new category, and in this case I'm going to add a new category called HR updates. If we go back to the bulletin tab, I can add a new bulletin. So first we choose the category that this belongs to. So I might have an HR update, for example, to get out. We also have the ability to feature a particular bulletin. So that just makes it more highlighted and prominent in the application. In this case, I'll say that I want to keep it highlighted just for a day. We also have the ability to schedule. So if I want to create a bulletin but not have it released till say Friday, then I can choose the schedule on and choose the date and time when I want that to automatically be posted. We can add a cover image, selecting one from the library, or upload my own. I'll give it a title, and below in the body you see we have a rich text editor, so we can put any kind of rich text that we need in there. We can even specify actionable buttons to show up. So down below we might have a button which is like a sign up button as a bit of a call to action. We'll choose the author of this article, click save, and this will put this particular bulletin in the draft mode. If I want everybody to see it, I'll click the publish button. If I want to see this bulletin in the flesh, I'll go to the Bulletins app, and we can see our new bulletin as a featured article. I'll click on it, read the text, and then click on the call to action button to sign up. Now if you want to get this app, just go to the apps tab, the left-hand rail, bottom of the left-hand rail, and use the search to find it. Click on it, add it to Teams channel, and bang, off you go. Great. This could be super useful if you want to get to the point where you are using email for more formal and important communications, and important can equally be internal as well, but more formal and important communications with your clients and partners, yeah, and use Teams for the more informal internal communications, then this new bulletin app is a bit of a winner, I believe. Something you should have in your kit bag. Anyway, let's get back, let's move on, let's keep the pace up. Let's go back to communications. So we're back in productivity score. And what I want to do now is look at a different set of statistics. Now, I often find this set of information in productivity score useful. It's showing me the breakdown, yeah, of how our people are using basic chat versus Teams, because in the purest sense, yeah, everything should be Teams and channel orientated, and chat really is for, you know, just minor stuff, but that's not the case. There is a case for chat as well as for channels in your organization. It's a matter of getting that right. As you can see in this organization, we're a little bit chat dominated. Yeah, 45% of our people use Teams. Only 45% of our people are using Teams channels to communicate. Is that good or bad? Well, you know, it's all about context and understanding how your organization looks. But anyway, let's slow down and ask ourselves, when should I use chat versus channels to communicate and work with colleagues? So let's I've got a little video nugget which is going to go through the kind of some design principles which will help us determine, yeah, when we should use chat over channel. So let me just bring that up. Okay, let's talk about whether we should use Teams chat or Teams channels to communicate and work with our colleagues. I'm going to walk through two scenarios to help us see how this might work. Let's look at scenario one. In this example, we have a team work on a new business opportunity which will result in two deliverables being created, a proposal and a presentation. There are 3 team members and each one has a different role to play, and they only have 2 months to get ready for the RFP. The question is, do you think we should set this up as a chat or a team? Well, in this case, I created a chat with an associated meeting. This scenario could have been a team and channels,
But considering the lack of complexity, only 2 deliverables and 3 people using teams and channels might have been overkill. Let's check out how this workgroup looks in chat. So we've got a group chat called Acme Opportunity, and you can see I've set this team up with all 3 participants in this collaborative workspace. I built out our workspace with a shell of 2 deliverables. I've gone and tweaked this chat group. Yes, I could have accessed all our files from the file tab, but I've gone and added everything to the top line to make it convenient and easy to access. I've also added the client's website to ensure we remain mindful of who we are pitching to. I've also created a recurring meeting and called it Acme Proposal. So as you can see, we've had several meetings that we've recorded, which is great for those who couldn't attend a particular meeting. You'll notice that I've shared the exact same documents here in the meeting, so you might be wondering if we might have a version issue. The answer is we don't. And the reason is because I shared these in the group chat and the meeting from my OneDrive, so that whether anyone accesses the file from the meeting or the chat, it's sourced from my OneDrive. So any changes made by any one of my colleagues will be made to that single source document. Let's look at scenario 2. Now, scenario 2 is an operational team requirement. This team manages the onboarding of new clients onto our Bedrock 365 service. We have 20 people on this team, plus sales managers that come in and make requests for the engineering team to onboard their new clients. This is an ongoing internal process for our organization, and we use multiple applications to manage the various processes. This one is pretty definitely a team. There's a lot of complexity in this group. Let's go straight to the customer onboarding team. We've locked the general channel down for announcements only to avoid it becoming a place to do everything. The first process is an approval process that the sales managers will use to request the engineering team to onboard the new client onto the Bedrock 365 service. And then process 2 is for the engineering manager and his team. They have a weekly meeting here, and you can see that they have a meetings note tab that comes in automatically because they've created this weekly recurring meeting. They also use the planner application to manage the various client onboarding projects. So you can see we have several customers we're onboarding right now at various stages of scoping, planning, delivering, and hypercare. We also have a calendar, which is the team's ongoing working calendar, where everybody can come into that channel and see what work and who's working on that stuff. Then we have the third process for consultancy only projects, which follows a very similar process model. What's nice about this is that the sales manager can come in and make the requests and walk through and see where their customer is on the onboarding journey. They can walk through each of these processes because they use the channel to define the process.
Perfect. I think that is, hopefully, that is quite clear. So let me bring up this slide. Let's summarize what we've covered there around chat versus channel. It isn't a science, I think, and I think you'll agree with us, yeah, because we could, what we've decided in that demo, that video to use chat for is equally applicable. We could have used a team and a channel for that. So it's not a science, yeah. What you must do is agree some design principles that work for you, and then in an agile manner, tweak them over time, regularly tweak them over time. What have we learned? What have we learned? And work with each department in turn. Yeah, you've got to do it at a departmental level because one size doesn't fit all. And ask the question, how are we going to use these features to drive better business outcomes for you? And don't forget, yeah, this isn't a techie thing of simply switching on all of these great features and letting the users fill their boots, because you'll end up with another badly introduced piece of technology. Right. Let's move back to productivity score. And I want to go back to the top. Yeah. What I'm going to look at next. Let's make sure we're all loaded up. I'm going to look at content collaboration. Let's start this off. If we were to work smarter, yeah, by collaborating on files in the cloud, rather than the old way of doing it, in the cloud, Microsoft research shows that you can save almost 2 hours per week per person. Where have I got that? Yeah, there you go, almost 2 hours per person per week. So getting people to co-edit and collaborate on files in the cloud using OneDrive and or SharePoint rather than the old school way of sending out files as attachments to emails might offer a compelling return on investment. But this next stat, and I'm not proud of it, yeah, it hurts me, yeah, sets off some alarm bells, showing old habits die hard. It's saying that 94% of people share files as an email attachment. Now, best practices, you should use links. So why is this? You shouldn't. If you're not sending multiple copies of a file around an email, you have a greater control over who can read it and download it instead of inside or outside your organization. Using the old school approach of attaching files to emails you send outside your organization, you are immediately, this is a security thing, you're immediately losing control of the confidentiality of the file, of the information in that file. I have no control over that client or that prospect sharing my pricing and design information with my competition. I want more control over this situation and protect our business. And Microsoft 365 gives me that. And I've got a video nugget that really brings that home or demonstrates that for us. So let's bring that up.
So I'm going to go into Windows File Explorer to my proposal in OneDrive and right click and go to share. The thing I want to show you right now is this says anyone with a link can view it. Brilliant, that's what I want. I want the client contact to be able to share the link with whoever in their organization needs to see it. But remember, I've got control of this file because I'm not sending them a file, only a link to look at that file. Now look at this, I don't allow editing. I am the only person that can edit the document. When they click on the link, they're going to see a web version of the proposal. They cannot edit it. And also, it's worth noting that when we get onto that next review call with a client, any edits I've made since I originally sent them the link, they'll see. Also, I love knowing there's an expiration on this link. I always set a 30-day link access. And when that 30 days expires, they'll have to reach out back to me to get a new link. I love knowing that our data, when it leaves our organization, especially in proposals like this, will not stay out there forever. Also, I've blocked downloads. And if I wanted to take it a step further, I could go ahead and set a password to that link. This is such a beautiful thing. I'm completely in control of our data when it leaves our organization. And then I can just copy the link and create a nice, friendly link in an email. Don't forget, if at any point I want to yank access to that file, I just go straight back into File Explorer, into Share, Manage Access, and go ahead and delete access to that file. Using links in Microsoft 365 ensures you're always in control.
Do you know what? I hope that made a lot of sense. We were looking at that from a perspective of control for security, protecting your IP, and getting people to use OneDrive and SharePoint. Really, it makes it more compelling, yeah, rather than using old-fashioned attachments. But anyway, let's go back to productivity score, and let's move on to teamwork. I love teamwork. Now again, let's look at the research. Now, research indicates that when people share information and collaborate in shared workspaces, teams and channels, they save up to 4 hours a week. Where does this show that? I can save up to 4 hours per week. Wow, that's compelling. Yeah, that's pretty compelling if I nail this. Now, in this next section, we can see, unfortunately, yeah, that only 11% of shared workspace have over 3 days of engagement per week. So there isn't a great deal of activity going on in our teams and channels. Now, let's look at how we can use bots. Yes, bots. I love bots. They're my brand new favorite thing in Teams, to drive eyeballs to Teams and get people working together. Now, I've gone and created, let me bring this up. Let me bring Teams up. And what I'm going to do is go to chat. Can I do that? Yes. Let me bring this across. Dun, dun, dun. Bear with. Here we go. I'll bring that across. Dun, dun, dun. So I've gone and created a Bedrock bot. I've called it Rockbot. And it's to service up all our HR information, all that latent information we've got in the HR department, and I'm going to serve it up using the bot, using like a self-service mechanism, all that FAQ, all that latent knowledge that's laying around. Today, at this moment, we're going to look at the HR department, but equally, that could be your sales department, your IT department, your operation, your finance department. But anyway, less of that. Let me do a demonstration, and I'm going to show you how to build one. So Rockbot, I've got it set up as in the chat. So this is how easy it is. So I need to find, so I'm a user, yeah? So I need help with booking time off. Fancy a holiday. That interests the bot, yeah? And the bot comes back, hi Mark, it's personalized, yeah, it recognizes me. I can help with questions with time off. What type of information are you looking for? Well, I'm booking a holiday, so I want to book some paid vacation. How do I do that? I haven't done it before, or I've forgotten how to do it. And the bot comes back and says, for paid vacation time off, go to our eDays SaaS service. And it's saying, did that answer your question? Yeah, it did actually, yeah. Brilliant, loving it. Thanks, Mr. Bot. Thanks, Rockbot. Great, please rate us. Oh, no, this bot's a little bit needy. It likes to be congratulated or told where it's gone wrong. So I'll say, yeah, that's fantastic. I'll give you a 4. Brilliant. That's going to please the bot. Can I help you with anything else? No, that's it. That's got everything that I need. Yeah. Now, that's quite a natural flow of conversation, yeah, and how we're sharing up our knowledge. Let's go back in there. Let's ask, I'm a different user, and I could ask that same kind of information in a slightly different way. I need info on time off. Oh, if I could spell, that's the Welsh in me, you'll have to excuse that. And I go, I need time with help. The bot gets excited, the Rockbot gets excited, yeah, it says, hey Mark, what can I help us with? Extended leave, yeah, I'm gonna book some extended leave. Okay, and the Rockbot says, well, just give me a brief description of what you mean by extended leave. Well, I need to take some time off to look after my mum. She's just come out of hospital, yeah, okay, fantastic. That's a reasonable request. And the bot comes back and says, yeah, okay, I've notified the HR expert. They'll be in contact shortly. Oh, wow, fantastic. I've kicked this off. I've started it. It's really worrying me. And I'm going to get an expert to come back to me in a minute, fine, or shortly. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Can you rate me? Yeah, I'll give you 5 for that. You've really sorted me out, put me in contact with the right person. Boom. Now, a little bit of magic as well. Yeah, it's just not just that conversational piece. If I go to Teams and I come down to my HR team, I've got Ask the Expert channel. If I click on that, you can see that Mark Flynn, that's me, yeah, I was putting a request for extended leave, which is I need to take some time off to look after my mum. Bang, I'm connected the HR department, so they can now reach out to me, yeah, email or chat or wherever, just to get that booked. So 2 things are happening here. We're serving up a lot of latent knowledge that the whole organization can consume. It doesn't just reside in that single department. The whole organization can now consume it, and we're driving more activity into Teams, or we're using Teams as the platform to helping use IT to deliver better business outcomes. Anyway, here's the magic. There's no code involved in creating these bots. I'm going to go to the Power Virtual Agent. Let's see if we can get that out of the way. Let's put it down there. Yeah, I've created a chat, but the Power Virtual Agent, you know, just go down to the apps there or the ellipse, search for it, load it up, it'll pop up there just like that, and you'll see exactly what I'm seeing here. But I'm going to go to the chatbot. Yeah, You can have any number of chatbots. So you can have a chatbot, you can have one chatbot for the whole organization, yeah, or you can have chatbot per department. So I'm going to go to the Rockbot. The Rockbot. Okay, and I want to add a new topic of conversation, a new set of information I'm going to share out. And that's going to be, I'm going to create a new topic, and I'm going to say post-COVID, where we're all going to return to the office. Yeah, wow, won't that be great? Now, what are the kind of triggers? Let me just bring this up. There's some information I need to make sure I've got up and available. Dun, dun, dun. Let's bring that over there. Oh, shouldn't have seen that. Here we go. What kind of questions? These are kind of trigger conversation questions that we might expect users to use. Put that there. One of those, they might ask about what happens post-COVID. Another one might be, what's our back to work policy? Yeah, let's copy that and drop that in there. Yeah, so that's, I'm adding that. So those are kind of trigger, and you can have any number of those. You just put the phrases in you expect your users to use. And once I've done that, I'm going to go to the authoring canvas to set up what we saw previously, but in the context of returning to work. I'm going to do, based on this, there's my trigger phrases. Yeah, back to work policy, what happens after COVID. I'm going to delete that, because what I want to do is ask a question. And the question is, I'm going to say, hi, you saw that the last one was personalized. I'm going to make this one personalized. So, yeah, hi, Mark. Yeah, fantastic. And I'm going to say, I'm the Rockbot, or I'm the bot. I'm the king of bots, and I'm here to help you on our back to work policy. I can help with social distancing, hygiene, best practice, whatever you want to put in there. It's just a messenger, and I'm going to offer up a number of multiple choice questions. So, and they could be social distancing. If I could spell, yeah, that's one of the options. I'll add another option, which is going to be how do you spell hygiene? I-E-N-E, best practice. Yeah, that's another one. And one other option is facilities. When are our facilities going to be open? On multiple offices, yeah, facility. Hopefully I spelled that right. Information. Brilliant. Okay. Excellent. And as you can see down the bottom, it's already been building out those options for us. If I press social distancing, it's going to take me down this social distancing path, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to show a message. What's the message? Well, what I'm going to do is offload all the information about social distancing when people return to the office. So I'll go there. So the practice of social distancing is you still got to wear a face mask, still 6 feet when you're in our office, and all the desks have been lined out accordingly. Fine. And we'll do something similar for hygiene best practice. So let's drop that in there. Control C that. Show a message. Bum, bum, bum. Put that in there. Okay. Avoiding touching surfaces. Fine. All that great stuff. And lastly, let's show this one. I'm going to say how we're going to stage the opening of our offices. So we've got one opening on April the 12th. Yeah, and so on. Let's take that out there. And for completeness sake, I'm going to say end of survey where the bot's asking us like mark me out of 5 and 1 on 5. Yeah, so fantastic. I save that, super duper, and then I can go back instantly into chat. Yeah. And engage with a Rockbot with a new set of information. So this time I'm going to say, what happens after COVID? And the Rockbot comes back with the options, and I'm going to go in social distancing, bang, bang, bang. Oh, as you can see, it was Mark Flynn, so it's personalized. It said, okay, there's the information. Did I answer your question? Yeah, it's brilliant. Needy bot as ever, give me a Mark 5, super duper, jobs are good at it. How super cool was that? No code. What we can do using no code is build in, collect all that latent knowledge we've got laying around in our silos in our business, load it into the bot and make it available to everybody. So everybody can make great decisions quicker. Anyway, less of the preaching, Mark. Let's get back to the slides. I've raised the head on the slides. Oh, let's go back to this one. So we're wrapping up. So we asked this question right up front. how do you create business advantage using IT and make your people be the best they possibly can? And we laid out 3 kind of blockers. Yeah, only 3. For many people, their email inbox is a disaster focus. Absolutely, it can be, yeah. We're not proud of it, but most of us are there. We looked at how we could use the Bulletins app to address that. We also looked at how we can use, when we should use chat versus channel. It's always good to have some best practice in our back pocket to look at that. Then we come across, for many, the definition of collaboration is attaching files or emails. That is so ancient history. Yeah, it's Stone Age stuff. Move away from it. And we saw in this case how we can secure our IP, protect our IP, yeah, using links in that case. And finally, many of our people continue to work in isolation. Many of our departments continue to work in isolation. We're not sharing all that latent knowledge, which allows us or individuals to make better business decisions quicker. And we saw how we could use no-code bots to address that. Fantastic. Last slide. So what next? Simple. Hey, attend April's webinar. The first Thursday of every month, we're running a webinar which looks at the new features that come out in Teams. And what we're trying to do is link them into how do you create business advantage using IT? Yeah, and we're using productivity score to drive that, using that as the context, but to really deliver, share with you the new features that are coming out. We've just seen me walking through productivity score. We can do that for you as well in your organization. So you could sign up for our 2-hour online one-to-one review of your productivity score and see how we could apply best practice and new features to help your people be the best they possibly can. Finally, we offer an IT strategy assessment. Now, if you're in a bit of a muddle, you've got the desire that you want to create that business advantage using IT, but you don't know what you don't know. All you know is that you're unhappy with your current IT. You want to straighten it out. You want it to be suitable for your business moving forward. Well, this IT strategy assessment is ideal for that. It's a 3-phase piece of work. We start with a workshop with the stakeholders. We create consensus around what your IT strategy could look like, should look like. Yeah. And then we've got second phase, we've got feet on the ground, eyeballs around the business. We will look at your productivity score, do exactly what we looked at here from our perspective. We'll also look at everything else, all the other moving parts with regards to your hardware and software in your organization. And the result of that are some strategic outputs. You'll have a fully documented IT strategy, fully costed, yeah, and you'll have that timeline plan of what needs to happen now, next 3 months, what happens next 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, which will allow you to budget getting the kind of IT strategy you need in place to deliver that kind of business advantage that you need. Anyway, that's it. That's today's webinar over. Hopefully you've got some good value out of it. And I look forward to seeing you at the next webinar, or look forward to engaging you with one of the other 2 options that we shared with you on the last screen. Cheers. Bye-bye.